Hello. So, this is my final exam. And first, we will start with case study scenario 1, all the eggs in one basket. Now, this one was about a kid called Scott who had a very specific learning disability. And I observed from this that there is one-on-one help from the general and special education teachers together. Although that was not always helpful because Scott didn't always want to communicate with them. Math and history were the toughest for him because he had trouble remembering details. So remembering like equations or facts were very tough. No personalized daily goals were made. There was individualized learning, but there were no personalized daily goals, which I find to be extremely important when dealing with someone who has a learning disability. Scott did better when he got put in that pre-algebra class for students with learning disabilities. He did get a C, yes, but once he was taken out of that class and put in a general classroom, his grades got lower. He got a D, and then from there on, he just did worse. He loved sports and played football in the past. And to play football, he at least needed a 2.0 GPA to keep playing, which he didn't achieve. He always forgot what he learned the next day. Some of the communication problems he had was he did not speak in class. I personally think that he has BICS, which is like basic interpersonal communication skills. And so Scott had social language problems. When he was in a group class, he wouldn't speak. He wouldn't speak to other people. He wouldn't speak to his teachers. He wouldn't speak to anybody. And he did not have expressive or receptive language skills, which is output and input. So, some of the ideas to improve his understanding and some of the ideas for his IEP group would be to keep a daily log of his efforts and improvement. That way he can see what he does right, and this can keep him empowered. So his feelings about his work will be positive, which is really important to keep up his positivity. Daily goal charts, so we can set those goals. This will be like with personalized learning. He needs to set a goals so he knows what is coming. Use more assistive technology like a tablet or a picture keyboard or digital speech, etc., since he was having trouble speaking. Something that I found out from research was this cool program where you can type it in on the tablet and the tablet or computer says it for you. So text-to-speech program, I would check that out for Scott. Find ways to make the material less complex. That might have been one of his problems. His teachers, as much as they tried to get him to understand, they did not make it like simple enough for him to understand. So he wasn't able to like communicate what he thought and understand the material. Prepare him before answering out loud. This is important. Since he has like a social problem, preparing him before answering in front of the class will hopefully make him more prepared and maybe give him some more confidence so that he starts speaking out loud in class. Use graphs and maps more effectively to organize his information. This is very similar to the making the daily goal charts. He just needs a way to like graph and like make the information that he's learning visual, because it sounds like Scott is a visual learner and he does understand what he's hearing. So using graphs and maps would be very effective in this classroom. And also because of his love of sports, get him to move around more. He sounds like he's sitting a lot. He's in a normal classroom. So even getting him up for like 5 minutes a day to walk around, or taking him like outside in the hallway to have him pace will hopefully get him to concentrate more, get him to focus a little more, get him to be more involved in the classroom. Okay, so now we are on to case study scenario 2, which is stuck in the middle. Okay, so observations about this one. The special education teacher given to Katie to have in the classroom to assist her keeps getting taken out of the classroom. But the special education teacher for the whole school keeps taking her aide and using her in different classrooms because there keep being cancellations, and special education aides are really, really needed in the classroom. Her parents wanted her in a general classroom. When she got put in her current school, she was in a special education classroom with a smaller group of students. But her parents pulled her out of that classroom, wanting her to be in a general classroom with like normal students and normal curriculum and all that. Katie has a neuromuscular weakness in her face and mouth. And to work with that, she has wristbands because she also drools a little. So these wristbands remind her that drooling is okay. At her previous school, Katie got to have a computer with her in the classroom because she had a problem with handwriting. This is very similar to something I suggested for Scott above. Katie had one, and she had one in her previous school, but the school she's in now is not ordering her one at all whatsoever, so she is not able to concentrate because she has a problem with her handwriting. And so the school really needs to get her one, and if not, uses speech to text program instead. Have Katie try to say what you want her to communicate, and then it can appear on the screen, and she can trace it with her fingers, but she needs that technology to help her understand and communicate with the rest of the class. And then we have what should Katie's teacher do about being in this dilemma? Because it is either tell the parents about what is happening with the special ed aide, but she could lose her ride to school, and she could get the school in trouble. Or she could just not tell the parents what is going on and risk getting in trouble for that. So, as Katie's teacher, she has a professional responsibility to make sure Katie is getting the help she needs. That is not happening when her IEP-approved special education aide keeps getting taken out of the classroom. Christine has a legal duty to tell Katie's parents about what is happening. She might lose a ride to work and cause trouble for the school, but she will maintain that relationship with the parents. That is crucial. And then this just goes with the previous slide. Katie was able to communicate better in school when she had the computer. If the school would not get her one, Christine could reach out to one of the technology companies and order Katie a computer herself.